Forest are set to strengthen up front this January, and of course, they're gonna go Brazilian. Welcome to your latest Forest news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Forest news. We've got plenty to talk about. Striker links already. Elanga being snubbed by Sweden. And I'll give you my take on the whole Refgate thing that's going on with Coote. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new to Forest Fan TV. And you've only got until 7:30 tonight to get this prize. My favorite player, Ola Einar. You can get his signed, framed LED shirt. It's an absolute beauty from Football Prizes. 7:30 tonight, that's when it closes. There's still some tickets left. If you win, send me a message. I may make you an offer. Scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. All right, let's jump into some transfer news. So, Forest are after a striker, and Yuri Alberto is now high on their priority list. Who is he, you may be asking? Well, would it surprise you if I said he's Brazilian and he's from Corinthians, where we've raided them before? We've taken Murillo, we've taken Carlos Miguel, and now we're after their red hot striker. Now, there's a few interesting things to discuss about this, but let me give you some stats on him as always. That's what I like to start with. He's 23 years old. He's valued at about £10 million right now. 144 appearances for Corinthians, and he's scored for 52 goals. He's even made one substitute appearance for Brazil back in 2003. Now, in terms of the player himself, he's quite agile, he's quite quick, he's good with both feet. In fact, I would say if you know your FIFA, I'd give him like a 4-star weak foot. Right-footed, quite clinical, and I believe he's overtaken some record of Ronaldo's as well in Brazil. And this player was linked to Arsenal about 3 years ago. And why do I bring this up? Because I think it's extremely key, because the whole Edu thing comes to mind here. Because we got a video, by the way, coming out for you guys tomorrow on the latest on Edu. We sat down with Ben Jacobs and he gave us some real good insight into Edu, where he's going to sit with the Forest, well, the Marinakis hierarchy, what it means for Forest, etc. Now, if you want to get that right now, it's out on Patreon. So you Patreon-ease, that's a word, go check it out. And if you want to sign up to Patreon, the link's in the description down below. But what we do know about Edu is that if and when he joins Forest, he has got a real eye on that South American market. And we know Forest have been doing a lot of recruitment there, got good ties with the likes of Corinthians, with Palmeiras, etc. So this does not surprise me that this link has come up. Now, is he our answer? Is he the future of Forest, and so on and so forth? Well, the answer is I don't really know. What we do know about Brazilian footballers is usually between the age of like 16 and 19 is where they're scouted, where they look to move. Obviously, they can't move until they're 18. But Alberto is now 23. And in Brazilian footballer terms, that's quite old. Danilo was borderline when he was going to move. But I think he's a good striker. But will he be able to cut it straight into the Premier League? Deputized for Chris Wood? I don't know. But what I do know is he's a different option to what we currently have. We talked about this yesterday on Grumpy Old Reds. Make sure you check that out if you haven't seen it already, where if plan A isn't working, if we saw like against Newcastle that the striker in Chris Wood is struggling to get beyond, you know, some solid defenders like Newcastle have got, then potentially we need someone who's smaller, agile, nippier, bag of tricks and what have you. And this is where I think Yuri Alberto does fit in. So I don't think he comes in as a direct replacement. He would be the understudy for Chris Wood. And you know what? I'm all for it. Yes, people will say the Brazilian league, how can you compare that to the Premier League, etc. But I do just think that different profile of player, get him in January, give him 6 months under Chris Wood, under Nuno, let him settle in, and let's see what he's like pre-season next summer. So I am quite excited about this one. Now, how likely is this going to happen? How much is it going to cost? Well, let me give you some details here. we know that it will be more than 14 million. Why do I say that? Because West Ham tried to go for him last summer and had 14 million rejected. The price being scouted right now is about 17 to 20 million pounds. There are some that are rumoring that this is already a done deal, that between Corinthians and Forest, they've come to an agreement. Maybe Edu is on the down low, got involved in this one. And how about Yuri? Does he want to leave Brazil? Well, let me give you some quotes for him. He said, he's not closed to leaving it. He says, I've decided over the last few months that I'm going to take it one day at a time. Classic footballer line. I'm very happy here, but if an offer comes along that's positive for me and Corinthians, and we can reach an agreement for the sale to happen, then great. If not, he says, I'm happy here too. I have a dream, and I believe that the longer I stay here, the more mature I'll be to be able to live in the best way possible. So he says he's quite a straight talker, basically reading between the lines. He wants to come across to the Premier League. Let's face it. I mean, why wouldn't you come to Forest? So on this one, I can see it happening. However, there are other parties involved. Just like I said, West Ham have been interested in him. Wolves as well are showing interest. Newcastle, and I think Southampton and Brentford were the other two. Now, are these the type of clubs we want to be fighting in, especially the likes of Wolves, especially the likes of West Ham? You know, they're way beneath us in terms of the league, in terms of stature and everything else. Maybe not. But like I said, he was linked to Arsenal a couple of years ago and Edu couldn't get it over the line. This one, I'm intrigued into. I like the player. I think he offers us a different dynamic. But what do you guys think? Especially our Brazilian Foresters out there. Let me know your thoughts on Yuri Alberto, and would you take him or not? Get your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, very quickly, let me talk to you about David Coote. I'm sure you've all seen the clip where he's called Klopp a German C-nut, amongst other things. And he went on to say basically he hates Liverpool and that Milner is all right. And a lot more words, but I can't really say them on here. Now, why am I bringing this up? Why is it relevant to Forest? Well, one, he's from Nottingham. I believe he supports County. So he hasn't reffed a Forest game. Believe me, I looked, right? But it's about the broader picture here. We've seen corruption in Syria. We've seen it in La Liga. And for anyone who is still believing the fact that these refs in the Premier League are clean and tidy and go about their daily business and are objectively, down the middle, really, do you need any more proof than this? Now, let's be honest. He's talking in the comfort of his own home or his mate's home or wherever it is. I don't think maybe his mind is completely sound. It feels like there's been, what I'm saying. But anyway, my point here is people say things all the time between mates and what have you. Firstly, I'd question how much do you trust your mate? That's a little weird that this got released. But it comes down to the point that these refs are not objective, in my opinion. There is always going to be an underlining biasy. Even though he supports County, I assume there's no beef or connection. I'm sure the County fans will tell me if I'm wrong towards Liverpool. He still has this hatred for Klopp, Liverpool, etc. And this brings me on to Forest. Because how is it that when Liverpool decide to cry about this, and they have every right to, don't get me wrong here, are they going to get fined 750,000? But when Forest point out actual facts about Stuart Twatwell being Luton and that he was on VAR and that we warned them that he was on VAR and that we're stating facts that we get fined 750k, I hope Marinakis is on the phone to his lawyers and asking about a refund on that check. And I want, more than anything now, David Coote to fight back. Why? Now, I think he shouldn't ref in the Premier League again, unless it's against Liverpool, Forest against Liverpool. But anyway, why do I want him to fight back? Because I would not be surprised, and this is just me speculating now, if this man doesn't talk to other refs. And no doubt in those conversations, similar conversations have happened to what he had with whoever this dude is that he's talking to. So I'm sure in his black book or in his recorded archives on his phone, he may have one or two truths about the rest of the refs in the Premier League. So if he survives this, then you can know for sure that he has told Howard Redweb, sack me and I talk. I squeal. I'm going to be a grass. Snitches get stitches. Not me, says David. I will snitch and sing like a canary. So let's see how this one plays out. But it underlines yet again the fact that these refs in the Premier League are not fit for purpose. What do you guys think on this one? Let me know in the comments down below. Alrighty then, let's round this off with the next bit of news, and that's on Anthony Elanga, who's been snubbed by Sweden in interesting circumstances. Now, Elanga apparently, in the last international call-up, when was that? October. He went to Sweden and got himself a few minutes and wasn't happy about being used as a sub, if you believe the reports that are coming out. And then there was a team meal afterwards, which Elanga decided to snub himself and decided not to participate. The Swedish manager was asked about it, and he basically said, I do not talk about the internal affairs externally. And shock horror, Elanga has not been called up to the Swedish team this time. So, Elanga being snubbed for off-the-field politics. Now, personally, I think you could get away and say maybe his on-the-field reasons wouldn't get him into the Swedish team right now, but that's a whole other debate. So Elanga is not going away on international duty. Forest have plenty, though, who are on their way on international duty. I'll chuck a picture up and show you the boys that are representing us for their countries. Let's hope they come back injury-free, please. And let's hope that during this international break, those that have remained behind, those that have been carrying knocks, the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White, Elliot Anderson, even though they're going away, let's hope they come back fully fresh. Sangare, we're expecting back on the other side of this international break, with Danilo maybe still a couple of months away. I think we won't see him until the other side of the new year. But the international break is upon us. Do not worry, we will keep you posted with all your Forest news here on FFTV. So if you haven't already, please make sure you've hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV. Go check out this Eye in Our Top. You've got until 7:30 tonight. And if you haven't caught up with Grumpy Old Reds, I'll leave it for you on the end screen. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.